today is the second day of my second week as a UPLB freshie in SEM. And so far, so good. Because tomorrow I feel like it wouldn't be so good anymore. Anyways, I'll talk about that in another day. So for today's video, I really want to talk about like my first week. I only really had the time to talk about it now because I was so tired. And yeah, so I settled in my dorm at August 10th, because on August 10 Monday there was like campus tour and freshie fair, which I missed. And well, not really missed, but like I just didn't choose to go at the freshie fair, and I missed the campus tour because there was just so many people. But I settled in my dorm at August 10th. And then the next day was August 11th, which was the official start of classes. But for freshies, we didn't have any class that day because that day was like reserved for orientations and other freshie activities. So that day was like full of orientations. And also the freshie convocation. So on August 11th, there was freshie convocation. In fact, I was so sad because I thought that Senator Kiko was gonna be there because they were hyping it all up. But well, Sen Kiko did have a message for us, but it was on screen. Like he didn't really go in there, so it was disappointing. But yeah, he's a very busy guy. So and yeah, it was a very fun event, the freshie convocation. And then afterwards, we went into the orientation of our colleges. So for me, my college is SEM, and yeah, it was a very very fun orientation, especially since it also focused on my program, which is PS Admin. So very fun. A lot of my screenshot, blah, 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 about the information, yada yada. It was very educational and made me feel fired up because there's gonna be a lot of exciting things for me further down the line. So I'm excited. August 12th, Tuesday. Again, we didn't really have any real lessons there. Like we had orientations for Tuesday and then Wednesday. And Thursday and Friday, some subjects had lessons and activities already because they already oriented their subject in the past 2 days. So yeah, so as Friday I remember there were already lessons there. Some subjects also had an orientation there. It really depends on the schedule. And last week was pretty fun. I went into the SEM fair and bought some stickers, and I also bought a lanyard. But I don't have my ID yet, so I will not be showing it to you guys yet. But I bought it from one of the orgs. That was in the SEM fair. I think it was 85 pesos, and I like it a lot. Yeah. So today is the second day of the second week, right? So of course there are lessons now this week. All the orientation was already finished, already done, and everybody in here, they're not joking when in every unit, every hour has a quiz or something of the sort. Because whoa, yeah. And yeah, everything is like really fast paced here, and I can already taste the stress, especially since Wednesday is my hell day because I have 5 classes in that day. But lucky for me, 1, 2, 3, like 4 of my classes, the first 4 classes are pretty close by with each other, because 3 of the classes are literally in the SEM function hall. Oh wait, no, 2 classes are in the SEM function hall. One of them is also in the SEM college itself. One of them is just near the SEM colleges. And my last subject is math. It's just a bit far from SEM. It's chill. So um, during vacancy, I just went to the SEM library because my dorm is a bit far away from SEM. Not super far, but it's a bit of a hassle to walk back and forth every hour, just to wait the vacancy out. So fun. The SEM library is aesthetic, teeny bit small. I haven't went into the main library yet, but the SEM library is nice. I slept there. It's allowed. It's allowed to sleep in there. Yeah, I only go there if I have to, so that I don't take, a seat uselessly. That's why I, prefer to stay in my dorm because there's study areas here, which is pretty fun, pretty nice. And my roommate is really nice, so I'm glad. And the people in the other room, they're really nice girls as well. I really like them. So far so good. I'm settling pretty well. But I live in Santa Rosa, which is like 3 hours away, and I've commuted last Monday, last Thursday, last Friday, and then yesterday I commuted back here. Okay, so Monday night I commuted home. Tuesday night I commuted back to UPLB. Thursday afternoon I commuted back home. Friday morning I commuted back here. And Friday evening I commuted back home. And Monday morning I commuted back here. Oh my god. I got my first slate yesterday. And when I came into the class, Agri 41B, all about insects, they were in the middle of a quiz. I only reached numbers 8, 9, 10. I only knew the answer to one question. Like the two other questions, I have an inkling of what the answer could be, but I didn't know the proper spelling. I didn't know what the proper term was. I only knew one question. I only knew the answer to one question. So of course, since I'm late, after the lecture, I went to my teacher and asked what should I do since I'm late. Should I list out my name? And I listed out my name in 1/4 yellow sheet of paper and gave it to her and explained why I was late. Unfortunately for me, there's no make-up quiz. I just have to get good and do better next time. And yesterday, my ultimate freshie moment happened. Well, not yesterday, but last week. Last week, Thursday. My ultimate freshie moment, as of now, happened. I destroyed a specimen. Oh, an insect specimen. It was a very gorgeous dragonfly, and I accidentally beheaded it. I don't want to discuss the details of it, but it was so sad. But the prof was so chill, and my group mates were heaven on earth. They were so nice, y'all. We got perfect on every activities at the lab. Thanks, lab mates. Of course, I also did my part, but it really was like a group activity because we had to recite the different parts of an insect. Let me get it. Alright. This is our lab manual. It's 250 pesos. Yes, you have to pay. Alright. Okay. So first, as a group, we had to recite the parts of a grasshopper. I think I had to recite the part, if I remember correctly, like it all happened so fast, it was a blur. But I had to recite like the leg parts of the grasshopper. I did quite well. So let's see, I think this is the coxa is the very first part. coxa, and then trochanter, and then femur, and then tibia, and then tarsus. And the very last one, I think, if I remember correctly, is the claw. Then I need to review that again. And like we were given a spider. I touched a spider. I held a spider, a dead spider. Because again, these are specimens. They are preserved, and it was such a fun feeling because it was a really large spider, but it felt like a toy. It was so hard, and it wasn't a hairy spider. It was hairless. And she felt very slick and hard. It was so nice. There was even still some silk in her. I forgot the name. Spinster? You know, just a place where they make the silk. I need to review again since it happened a few days ago. And yeah. And what did I recite in here? I think I recited, you know, the pedicel, and then parts of the legs, I think, as well. No, I'm not sure. All I remember is the pedicel, and then I think, no, which one is the natsoma and the opitosoma? Let me remember. What I remember is that they asked me where the pedicel is. There was also other questions. And my groupmate, he was asked the parts of a mite. And I was like, oh my gosh, we didn't review that. We thought that we were only gonna review the spider, but he locked in. Thank you, Mateo. He locked it and he recited it perfectly. I'm glad it wasn't me. And then this is the part where I ruined that beautiful, gorgeous dragonfly specimen. So we also studied different types of mouthpart, types of legs, types of antennae, types of wings. So yeah, in the dragonfly, they have a chewing mouthpart. This was actually the part where I got confused because, again, I accidentally beheaded the dragonfly and the small, tiny, weeny little head flew away. Even though it was an air-conditioned room. That's how tiny it was. Okay, so I didn't know. And also, I didn't know it was a dragonfly at first. Because I've never seen a dragonfly before. I don't know my insects. So I didn't think that, a dragonfly, they're predators, they eat. Of course they'd have chewing. Nah. My first answer was like, siphoning, something like that. Which was wrong, because this is a dragonfly. They eat, they chew. And I was like, okay, I remember. So type of the antennae. This is my lucky guess. Okay? Because again, the head flew off. And so I was like, cetaceous. And they're like, very good. I'm like, yay! Because there is really only like two options in my head. Like, the very thread-like one, or the thread-like one, but it's needle-like. Like, it has a fine, like, roundish part at the tip, and then it becomes thread-like at the end. Like, those were like the only two options for me, because before the head flew off, it was so tiny. So there were only two options. And the thread-like wasn't speaking to me. So I was like, I'm gonna take my chances and answer this. Because you can, like, have unlimited tries in here until you get it perfect, which was so nice of the professor. And type of modified leg, scursorial, which they use for like walking and just chilling on something. Not really walking, because it's a dragonfly, but you perch on something. Yeah. Shout out to my roommate Ice for telling me that it's also used for perching, because only in my notes it was only for walking and running. So I was like, could this be cursorial? Like, this dude doesn't walk or run, But they do definitely perch. So shout out to him. And the forewings, the hind wings, it was so obvious that it was membranous because it was so transparent, so beautiful, and light passes through it, and in fact, it kind of sparkled. So it was very obvious that it was membranous. Um, Fun activity. Hopefully, the other lab, well, not other lab, this is my only lab, but future labs are gonna be as fun. But my lab is on Thursday, and there's no classes this Thursday and next Monday. So, shucks. Anyways, that's the happenings of my first week and yesterday. You need to lock in, Sophia. This is so scary. Don't be like me if you study at UPLB. Okay? Don't be like me. We all have our freshy moments, but learn from me. But it has been so fun, and every day I've been walking at least 5K steps, but I don't really feel it as much until today. Like, today my thigh hurt a lot. But I think it was also because I tripped and fell yesterday on the terminal, on the muddy pavement of the terminal, when I was on my way to UPLB. So maybe that's why my thigh, hurt. Yeah, I'll get well soon. I got my medicine here and stuff. So yeah, that's my first week experience as UPLB freshie.